September 11th, 2001, a day etched into the heart of America, a day of unimaginable tragedy, heroism, and resilience. Most of us know about the 4 hijacked planes that changed the world forever, but there's a lesser-known story, one that could have made that day even darker. The story of United Airlines Flight 23. In this video, I'll uncover the chilling details of 9/11 and the flight that narrowly escaped disaster. On the morning of September 11th, 2001, 19 terrorists from the Islamic extremist group Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 commercial airliners in a coordinated attack on the United States. Their plan was to turn these planes into weapons, targeting symbols of American power. American Airlines Flight 11 and United Airlines Flight 175 struck the north and south towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, and United Airlines Flight 93, thanks to the bravery of its passengers and crew, crashed in a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, missing its intended target, likely the U.S. Capitol or White House. Nearly 3,000 lives were lost, and the world was changed forever. The attacks were meticulously planned. The hijackers, led by figures like Muhammad Atta and orchestrated by Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, chose early morning transcontinental flights with full fuel tanks to maximize destruction. They smuggled box cutters and knives through security at airports in Boston, Newark, and Dulles, exploiting weaknesses in pre-9/11 aviation security. But there's another plane that never made the headlines. United Airlines Flight 23. A Boeing 767 scheduled to fly from New York's JFK Airport to Los Angeles at 9 a.m. It was fully fueled with about 60,000 pounds of jet fuel and carrying around 160 passengers and 8 or 9 crew members. This flight was on the tarmac, ready to take off, when the FAA grounded all U.S. flights at 9:35 a.m. after the third plane hit the Pentagon. Flight 23 returned to the gate, and that's when things got really strange. Several passengers in first class raised red flags before the plane even left the gate. Flight attendant Sandy Thorngren noticed a man in business class sweating profusely, despite the cool cabin temperature and wearing only a t-shirt. He seemed nervous, out of place, and uncomfortable. Meanwhile, in first class, the purser, known only as Deborah, dealt with a group of 4 passengers, a well-built man in a tan suit, a young boy about 6 or 7, a man who appeared to be a bodyguard, and a person wearing a niqab, a full body covering that left only their eyes visible. Sandy Thorngren and others later stated they were convinced the person under the niqab was a man, as they had large and hairy hands. Not only this, but the child that was seen with them was asking to view the cockpit of the airplane, a request that was denied by the flight crew. When the flight was off boarding, someone asked a flight attendant, "Did they get the White House?" A question that, understandably, raised many suspicions. Deborah, the purser, offered fruit plates to the group as they didn't eat meat and only 2 fruit plates were available in the galley. She suggested getting more, but this sparked a heated argument. One of the passengers, described as agitated, insisted, "We don't need food. We want to take off. We just want to go." This urgency was alarming, especially as the plane was still at the gate. The crew found their behavior odd, but at the time, it didn't seem like a reason to stop the flight. By the time both towers of the World Trade Center had been hit, Flight 23 was still on the ground, stuck in a queue behind 10 other planes waiting to take off. Then a critical moment happened. United's flight dispatcher, Ed Bollinger, sent an urgent message to all transcontinental flights, including Flight 23, via the Aircraft Communication Addressing and Reporting System. The message read, "Beware any cockpit intrusion. 2 aircraft hit World Trade Center." The captain and his co-pilot read the message and immediately went on high alert. They barricaded the cockpit door and prepared improvised weapons, ready to defend themselves. As pandemonium broke out across United States airports, JFK was evacuated and Flight 23 was ordered back to the gate. Passengers were deplaned, and the crew thought the ordeal was over. But what happened next would send chills down their spines. After the plane was evacuated and locked, ground crew members reported seeing something unbelievable. Through the plane's porthole windows, they saw two people in uniforms running through the passenger cabin. But here's the thing. The plane was supposed to be empty. Everyone, passengers, crew, staff, had already left. When authorities reopened the plane, they found something even more disturbing. A hatch in the floor of the plane, which led down into the electronics compartment, had been left wide open. It was as if someone had used it to sneak in, or out, of the plane after it was locked. The captain later said he believed these individuals might have been removing evidence, like weapons or incriminating materials. And get this, box cutters, exactly like the ones used by the 9/11 hijackers, were found in the first-class seat pockets of a plane parked next to Flight 23. Was this a coincidence? Or was Flight 23 part of a larger, foiled plan? The FBI thought it was serious enough to investigate. The entire Flight 23 crew was interviewed for hours the next day. An agent told the captain of Flight 23 that there were 7 Arabs or Muslims, possibly Saudis, on the plane, including the group in first class and others in business class. 3 of them were a couple with a young child, but the other 4, they vanished, and their baggage was never claimed. In investigating 9/11, the FBI uncovered significant information of an incriminating nature in the unclaimed baggage, according to dispatcher Ed Bollinger's testimony to the 9/11 Commission. But here's the kicker. The 9/11 Commission's final report doesn't mention Flight 23 at all. The FBI has records on Flight 23, but they're classified, even today, nearly 25 years later. So what did the crew and passengers feel about all this? The captain of the flight, Captain Manello, who's now retired, said after hearing the flight attendants' accounts and learning about the open hatch and box cutters, he's convinced Flight 23 was targeted. The flight attendants, like Sandy and Deborah, were shaken. They'd worked alongside the crews of United Flight 175 and Flight 93, who they lost that day. The trauma of realizing they might have been next was overwhelming. Passengers, too, were left wondering if they'd narrowly escaped disaster. The story of United Airlines Flight 23 is one of 9/11's enduring mysteries. Was it really the 5th plane Al-Qaeda planned to hijack? Or was it a case of heightened nerves in a day of unimaginable tragedy? We may never know the full truth, especially with the FBI's records still under wraps. But one thing's clear. The crew's quick thinking and grounding of all U.S. flights that day might have saved countless lives. What do you think? Was Flight 23 a near miss? Or just a coincidence? Drop your thoughts in the comments.